Okay, before I start, let me say I am not a professional at producing videos. This is my first ever YouTube video, so there may be some sound issues, maybe some video issues. I'm a master electrician, not a master producer. But any advice I'll greatly appreciate to make it better. Anyways, where I'm going with this video, a little bit about me. I'm a master electrician from Texas. I do PLC programming and troubleshooting for our company here in Texas. We have two in Colorado and one in Denver. Making this video because as I was coming up and learning, there's not a whole lot of videos on Idec. There's not a whole lot of videos for electricians. Most of them are geared more towards engineers. And honestly, the PLC was originally designed for electricians. That's why the logic looks like it does, the ladder logic and all that stuff. And I wanted to get a video going to kind of help other electricians that want to further their field, move a little further up, make a little more money, maybe move a little more into an office, whatever the case may be. One of the tools that I would suggest you get is go to Idec USA. I'll try to put a link on the bottom for the software, the Wind LDR software, and also for the HMI software. You can download a demo version for free. I think it's restricted by lines or something like that, but it's nothing major. It's still full function. Download that, give you something to play around with. There's some simulation in it you can do. I would also look into Idec's classes. I went to a couple of their classes. They are very, very good. And for the price of basically wholesale PLC equipment that they give you with the class, and you have several options, you also get 3 days of training how to use that equipment. You get to take the equipment home with you and keep it. And it's a very, very valuable tool in learning PLCs. Being able to hands-on with something and try different scenarios for yourself and see how things work, that imprints it into your mind once you do it that way. Or that's my opinion, my experience anyway. Okay, and I am by no means an electrical engineer. I'm a master electrician, so I'm going to go through this with some of the lingo that us electricians use. And first off, before I crack this open up here, you'll see for my ease of use, I've renamed some of the programs. What you'll actually download them, they'll say I've renamed it to Idec Ladder, so I know it's ladder. And when I show somebody, they know it's ladder. And this program's an HG3G or an H3G 4G HMI. That's for an FT1A touch. These are different devices that Idec sells. Anyways, we'll start off with ladder. I'm just going to kind of go through some of the navigation on it on this video. We may get into some of the things. Let's let it open up here, and it takes it a minute. Well, let me click it again. Maybe it didn't want to open. There we go. I think it opened up twice actually. I'll pull it over here into view. That way you can see it. Okay. Okay, first off, navigation around, you get your PLC, and if you get a PLC, you can do this. If you don't have a PLC, you can pick anything you want. But this is where you select the model of the PLC that you are programming in ladder. Okay, mine's set at a default at FC5A C24. Doesn't It has to be specific to the PLC you're programming if you're dropping a program or reading a program from a PLC. But just for playing around with it, doesn't really matter. Okay, up here, just to show you some of the things, you can go in here and go down to Wind LDR options. You hit the little circle, Wind LDR options. You can go in here to ladder preferences. You can change the way it looks as far as this. And you can change the colors, of the values of the fonts. You can even change the background color. Like, see, right now the background color is white. I can change it to blue if I want. I don't like blue though, so I'm gonna go back to white. But anyway, that's just how you want to do that. If you actually want to make it a little different look to it that you might like a little better, maybe it'll see a little better so it doesn't blind you or what have you. Okay, online, or not to skip, this is configuration. Home, first off, this is where you do your basic commands if you want to do it from a pull down menu. Okay, this is where you open a new document. I mean, you kind of feel your way through some of that. Any questions you have, put them on here, and I'll try my best to answer them with the knowledge I have, of course. This is configuration. This is just what it says, where you configure your PLC. You configure your communication. I don't know why my screen keeps doing that. There's something going on with it. Online. This is where you do your download and upload to your PLC or upload from your PLC. Don't let those confuse you. Download is put it in the PLC. Upload is get it from the PLC. And you can monitor a connected PLC as far as seeing the inputs and outputs. We'll get into that later. Simulation is where you can go in there and actually test your program as you're doing. I'll try to do it as I'm going. As I put one function in, I'll segregate my different functions to know which one is controlling which, and I'll test that function as I get done with it, and then I'll move on to the next one. Say I'll have one rung that'll be for a motor 1, and I'll have another rung in motor 2. When I program stuff for motor 1, I'll test that rung before I move on to the next one. Setup is just basically where you can set up your communications here also. And view, this is where you can turn on your different sheets if you want to use. Toolboxes, you can get the same thing here that you get here. So I don't necessarily usually use that because it just clutters my screen up some, but it's up to you. Totally. But it does give you a full list of all of your programs that you can put in there. So I mean, you can go through the whole. This is pretty much all of the different instructions you can put in. I don't use that. I don't use the property. I use the tag editor pretty exclusively because I put all of my information in there. When I start to write a program and I know what I'm going to have, my inputs and outputs, I'll put them in the comments and they'll show up over here. It makes it easier for me to follow my flow of my program, to me anyway. Over here you can change your line width as far as I'll show you on your comments. And this is the line width as far as the line itself. I'll show you all that in a little bit. The stuff you can just play around with though. Anyways, back to home. Like I said, you can pull your instructions down here. Like this is a normally open. And this is why I'm gearing it towards electricians. Engineers call them gated inputs. I've heard them called all kinds of stuff. A make, that's a break. I've heard them called examine if ons, examine if off. I mean, negated outputs. They have all kinds of lingo. I call it a normally open, a normally closed, an output, or don't output. It's basically what it is. And I'll show you what set and reset stuff means later too, or how they work. But we'll go through them simple things at a time and build our way up to something a little better. Anyways, two-way to enter an instruction. You can go here. There's a bunch of ways. This is the easiest way for a beginner. You just click on what you want, land it right there. Once you land it, double click it, come over here and pick the first input. Now you can put your comment here if you want. And I'll show you what I do. I put my comments over here. I want this to be my start button. Okay, see it put start button up there for me. Okay, I need an output because if I have an input, I have to have an output tied to it. It has to tell something to do something. And that's what this is. This is virtual. This is inside of your PLC. This is coming into your PLC. Something telling the PLC to do something. The PLC is going to see something come on or something go off. This is going out of the PLC. This is your output. This is going to be your output to your starter, output to your indicator light, output to your VFD, output to your solenoid valve, whatever the case might be, output to a relay even. Simple way to add that. Here's your outs. Same thing. Just click it once. It'll automatically push it to the right. Double click it. Go in there. Now these are cues, so you can't pick. You can pick that. It's going to put an eye up there if you want it to. That ain't what you want. I think no, it won't let you do it. It won't let you do that. It'll let you put cues over here, but not eyes over there. Anyways, double click it. You pull it down. Go up here. There's your outputs. And from up here, you could put all kinds of stuff in there. It lets you with certain things that, like you just saw. It won't let you put where it doesn't belong. Q0. We'll click OK. Here, I'll show you how you can put that in there. You can I don't like it like this. Or I just don't do it this way, I guess. You hit OK. Can't hit enter. Alright, now if I go over here, though, you'll see it show up over here. Motor 2. See comment? It also says Motor 2 up there. Another way to do a normally open is you just hit the key A. Oop, wrong place. I'm not in. You have to be actually clicked into the ladder. Hit the key A. It's going to pull up that pop-up box. And then hit enter. All right. Then it's going to want you to input. I do a lot of stuff with keyboard, so I'll I1. And you can hit tab if you want to do it this way and put, I don't know, motor to start. About that. Can't hit enter though. You got to hit OK. This is why I don't usually do it this way. And for output, you can type OUT. Anything in this list right here, if you type any of this, that's what it pulls up. See, it pulled up output because I typed in OUT. And you just hit enter. Now it's going to ask me for an output. So I'm going to go Q1 this time. This is how I do it. I just hit enter. And I'll come over here to Q1. And I'll type in motor 3. Whatever. See, it populates it over here. Let me go ahead and save this as a program to mess around with. Let's call it YouTube. Let's save my desktop for easy to get to. You'll save often, just like with any program. Save often. If you don't, you'll very, very much regret it later. If the machine crashes out on you and you lose half your program because you didn't save on your PC, you will be really, really sour about it. I've been there. Okay. Now, I'm just showing you some basic stuff. Not getting really thorough into this. Now we can go online simulation. Simulation, this is where I was talking about that you can actually test your program. I want to see if I put an input into I00 from my physical button out here in the real world to my I000, we're just going to call I0 terminal on my PLC. What's going to happen over here? Okay, I push the button out here. It sends a signal into my PLC. Because of this program, this is actually the program. This is the virtual area, the program area. It turned on Q0, which is now outputting a signal to my device, which is my VFD, my indicator light. In this case, it's a motor. It could be motor starter or VFD, whatever. All right, and when that, now this is a maintained when it's maintained like that. Don't let that confuse you, because if it's a push button, momentary, it's gonna push on and come back off, and you have to put a different thing. We'll talk about that later on there. This is showing like a maintained button. I push the button, it stays on until I push the button again outside and it turns it off. Anyways, as we go through some of the simulations, I'll show you some different things, and I'll try to get a little more organized at this. I'm just trying to get some basic things going here, and I'll actually try to get somehow to where I can video my PLC setup and show you exactly what it's doing if we start dropping programs into it. I'm about 13 minutes now. And some of the other stuff you can go, like if you decide you don't want that for some reason, you're testing your program and it does not work the way you want it to, you say, oh, that should work the other way. I can go in here by double clicking it and change that. Watch it right here. I changed it right here to normally closed. Now that's a normally closed. Okay, now when I push this button out here, it's what it's going to do is open that up. You'll watch when I go to simulation. Now see, that is normally closed, so that Q00 is actually outputting when this button is not pushed out here. And this confuses some people. So now if I push this button and I send a signal to I00, there's what it does. It turns the motor off. And that's what some eggheads call it, a negated contact, and like I say, a break, all kinds of stuff. But it's a normally closed. That's what I call it. Anyways, to change it, that's all you do is you can go in there and change all of anything on here. You can change this to an output not, which is basically the same thing. It's not going to put out a output to something instead of putting out. If you hit this, output puts it out. If you put that one there and you hit this, it stops putting an output to it. Set is a form of latch, and reset is a form of unlatch. And I'll show you how to do that later. But the thing is, you can change anything. But I'll try to get better with these videos and more organized as I go. Like I say, this is my first video, so please cut me some slack. Like I said, not a professional producer. I've never been in the movies. I'm not a movie star. I'm just a danged old master electrician that's trying to get by. Anyways, till next time, I hope somebody enjoys this or gets some use out of it. Subscribe to me if you want, and I'm going to try to put some more videos. I'm going to try to do one a week and get a little better at them as I go. And thank you again for checking it out.